everyone. I have decided to make this video addressing some frequently asked questions regarding locks and their types and the methods of locking. I did post a question on my page just to see if anyone had any curiosity. I know a few of my friends are thinking about locking their hair. Yay! I'm so excited about that. I said, hey, maybe I should just do a video, right? And tell other people that may have the same questions, that may be thinking about locking their hair. And even some of us that are, locked, we still have questions on, did I make the right choice? Did I, make the right choice of locking method? Is it something I missed? Is it something that I could have done or should do to make my locks better? So, I just want to take this opportunity to maybe address some of those questions. Of course, I don't know everything. I am not a certified loctician, even though in the state of Michigan, you do not have to be a certified loctician. In fact, there isn't a such thing as a certification to be a loctician aside from the Sisterlocs locticians, which is a privately trademarked brand. So in the state of Michigan, you don't have to be licensed. In fact, they do have an option for you to be a natural hair culturist, which is optional. It's not mandatory, and that will be someone that specializes in natural hair care, so not just locks. However, I do have experience being a locked babe myself, and this is not my first set of locks. I had traditional locks from 2012 to 2016, and I pretty much maintained my own locks after a month or two. I was getting them retwisted by someone. So, anyways, I won't go on about silly stuff. So let me just get straight into it. I only had one person ask a couple questions on my post, so I will address those questions at the end. But let me just talk about some of the misconceptions about locks and locking methods. So a lot of people get things confused about traditional locks, interlocking, microlocks, Sisterlocs. Like, what is all that? So there are several locking methods: palm roll, comb coil, single little braids around your head, two-strand twist, interlocking, and freeform. Those are all locking methods that can take place depending on what you want, the desire that you of the look you have varies. So I just want to back up though regarding palm roll. Palm roll is particularly done as a maintenance to locks. Typically, you don't start locks with palm rolling. You comb coil. Typically, some people may do it, but typically you don't. It's best to do a comb coil as it helps with ensuring the lock of hair that you're coiling more tightly as opposed to palm roll when you're doing starter locks. So yeah, but once your locks get semi-established or start locking, then you can palm roll. So that is, like I said, that is a sort of locking method because your hair is continuously locking as you get new growth. So types of locks. Well, we have traditional locks, we have Microlocs, we have Sisterlocs, and we have freeform locks. Traditional locks is just simply, there isn't any specification to those. They vary in size, shape. The parting, there is no particular rule with the parting. You can part them however you want. Typically, they are usually medium to large to extra large. They can be small, but not as small as Sisterlocs or Microlocs. So when we think about Sisterlocs versus Microlocs, what's the difference? Well, simply put, it's the pattern. That's what really makes them, the parting pattern. That's what makes them different. Sisterlocs and Microlocs are pretty much the same size. Sometimes Microlocs can be even smaller than Sisterlocs. So the primary difference is that pattern because it is trademarked by Sisterlocs. Moreover, Sisterlocs is trademarked, as I mentioned, and it is a brand that have particular ways of how to care for your locks. So usually, you know, maybe if you go to a natural hair culture, she will tell you to put oil in your hair, as opposed to a sister loctician will tell you not to do that to your locks. You don't need to do that. Um, so it's just a couple things that that they go by, um, and it's a part of their brand. So yeah, but like I said, the main difference is the parting pattern. Sister locks are interlocks. Interlocks is a locking method. So like we have palm roll, comb coil, two strand twist, freeform. Interlocking is a locking method. It's not a type of lock. So interlocking is done by a tool. You can interlock your locks at any size. It doesn't have to be small micro locks or sister locks. Um, they can be large locks and interlock. If that's how you want to retighten your hair, then that's how you can retighten your hair or have it retighten if you have someone doing it for you. But yeah, you use a tool. There's so many different types of interlocking tools. So a lot of the stuff that I mentioned in this video, there are keywords. So just, you know, look them up if you know how to weed out keywords. I can help you with that if you want me to. Just comment on the video. But yeah, it's you know, something about the interlocking thing, it irritates me. I have to say that because there's been so many miscommunications about interlocks and what interlocking is. Interlocking is not a type of lock, it's a locking method. It's how you retighten your hair. So like I said, let me back up because I'm going on a little rant. But um yeah, so you use many tools, different. They have many types of tools that you can use. Some people even use the crochet hook, and simply you just, I shouldn't say simply because it's not that simple. It is kind of complicated if you don't understand. But the whole idea is to use the tool, and I guess I should have grabbed one of mine, but it's somewhere. I gotta look for it because I haven't retied my own hair in a while. But there's a just it's a tool. If you know how to crochet, you probably would be able to understand the concept. But you use a tool. So like in my case, I got a lock here, right? And I have new growth. So if I have my tool, then I will take the tool and put it at the base of my lock, pull up to make sure it's taut and it's going against the part of the lock that's napped up or locked. And then at the end of that tool, it has a needle um, eye opening, or whatever you want to call it. I know there's probably a formal name, but if you sew, yeah, the eye of the needle, yeah, that's what it has at the end. So you would take the hair and slide it through the lock, I should say, the end of the lock, slide it through, and then just keep going. So they have what is called rotations. So, well, like with Sister Lock, it depends. I think they do counterclockwise, or you can go clockwise. It's up to you. But yeah, there's 2 point, 3 point, 4 point rotation. So 4 point would be uh 12, 6, 3, 9. Or if you want to do 6 to 12, 9 to 3, that's the do you. Depending on which area of the head. I'm not doing a tutorial on how to retighten your hair. This is not what I'm doing. I'm just saying interlocking is simply using the tool and weaving the hair until you get down um, to nothing. No more new growth. All the new growth is retightened up. There are plenty of videos on interlocking and how to retighten your hair that way. So if you want to know more about that, or if you want me to do a video, let me know. um, yeah, I don't like to do my hair because it's too time consuming. When I had traditional locks, I palm rolled. That was so much easier and simple and quick. It even took me a long time. When I first started my hair, I think it took me 8 hours, and then I worked my way to like 2, 3 hours after, continuing to retighten my own hair. Um, these babies, yeah, it takes me a good 3 days, and that's me breaking it up a few hours because I mean, one time I did do like 10, 12 hours straight, but yeah, and that's because I'm like really careful. I like use the mirror and look and make sure I'm not joining locks and stuff like that together. Anyway, back to the purpose of this video. So, Yeah, so just think of it like this: with should you go to a sister loctician or just to a loctician when you're trying to get locks? Depending on what you want, obviously, that's definitely a factor. Um, but when you think about the sizing of locks, if you want really really small locks, Sisterlocs is typically the way to go. Um, if you are, concerned about liability issues and things of that nature, then certified locticians, they are held at a higher degree because the brand and it is trademarked and they are certified as the sister loctician. So if something goes wrong, then liability is there. Even still, to an extent of the law, if you're doing hair, then even if you're not licensed as a loctician or natural hair culturist, there's still certain laws that's in place. So not that we anticipate anything to happen, but you never know. Um, so there's a legality issue to that. So when I think about, and I hate to use this analogy, but I mean, when you take your car to get service, like for oil change, right? And you have a Ford F-150. Well, you can go to the Ford dealership, or you can go to Midas, or you can go to your backyard mechanic. Not saying that the dealer is any better than the backyard mechanics. As a matter of fact, the backyard mechanic may even do a better job and be more um, honest in the pricing. However, when it comes to those legal concerns or whatever, it's going to be kind of harder to sue the backyard mechanic as opposed to a dealership. So just keep that in mind or whatever. Or you can go to Midas. Midas is in the middle. Midas is still certified um, place of service for automobiles. They have certified mechanics. They're held to state standards too. So, hey, go to Midas. You can't go wrong. But let me just address the questions that I received from my dear friend Kim. So she asks, do Microlocs curl the same as Sisterlocs? Absolutely. They do. They curl just as beautifully as Sisterlocs. You can get them the same size as Sisterlocs. The only difference is that they're not on that grid pattern. But you can get them just as small, even smaller if you want, depending on who you got doing your hair and they, specialize in that. So absolutely. Second question was, is the grid the only difference? And I just answered that question for you. Absolutely. That is the only difference. Sisterlocs and Microlocs are so much alike. The locking method is the same. They both use the interlocking method to lock your hair. And it's just a grid pattern. The pattern is trademarked. The way that they part the hair for Sisterlocs is trademarked. Um, so yes, sis, go ahead, get your locks. Get your locks, okay? You don't have to go to a sister loctician if you don't want to. I mean, there's other ways. What I will say is, if you would like to know more about the certification process and what makes them so different than going to a natural culturist or loctician, please visit the website sisterlocs.com. You will find a lot of information and resources to help you make your decision as well. Um, there are other avenues of getting your hair locked. It doesn't have to be by a certified, because it's a process before they get certified. So they have persons that's in the training phase, and I forgot what I think it's called a trainee like sister loctician. So which they usually charge a cheaper rate, but yeah. So that's all I have. If there are any other questions that you desire to know, please feel free to comment below on the video. But the main thing is that I just wanted to answer some of those um, simple questions about locks and interlocking. There needs to be some clarity on interlocking. I don't know who's going to take it over, who's going to trademark that, but like, I mean, if you think about it, braids aren't. I mean, they're not trademarked, right? The threefold cord or the intertwining of three strands of hair is no different than interlocking, aside from the method. But interlocking, it's not like different from. It's just a method of how you lock your hair. So, um, yeah. So that's that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And like I said, if you have any questions, please, please, please comment below. Um, yeah. And I will be keeping more jewelry coming slowly for surely. Peace.